A very good morning and welcome to Today in Parliament. Here are the headlines today. Discussion slated in Lok Sabha on alleged banking irregularities over years and its impact on the country's economy. Debate to be held under rule that does not require voting. Reports of various department-related parliamentary standing committees in Rajya Sabha. Reports of committees on human resource development, finance, external affairs, urban development to be tabled. Private members' legislative business in both houses. 18 private members' bills to be tabled in the upper house, including 12 new ones. Several private members' bills also to be tabled in the lower house. Let's start with what is to take place in Lok Sabha today. The discussion on irregularities in the banking sector is yet to take place. The discussion is slated to be raised by N.K. Premachandran of the Revolutionary Socialist Party and K.C. Venugopal of the Congress. Leaders will raise the issue of alleged systemic irregularities in the sector over the years and its impact on the Indian economy. The discussion will be held under Rule 193 that does not entail voting. The issue has been on the business of the lower house since Tuesday, but no discussion has been possible following repeated disruptions over multiple issues. Our senior correspondent Vineet Dixit has been tracking developments for the past 4 days, joining us now from Parliament House. Vineet, the past 4 days have been quite a washout, except perhaps yesterday in Rajya Sabha when we saw a very, very invigorating and encouraging debate that we saw on International Women's Day, of course, being led by the chairman himself. And we did see, of course, a statement from Lok Sabha Speaker Sumitra Mahajan as well on the particular occasion. But apart from that, as far as business in the House is concerned, in both houses, we've not been able to see much.
That's true, Tracy. We have lost 4 working days earlier this week. Only 19 more working days are left in this session, this part of the session. We must remember that the budget has to be passed before 31st of this month. Normally, as per the schedule, the budget should be passed by both the houses by the next weekend. The government has to speed up. The Business Advisory Committee, Tracy, has already taken a decision. If required, the House may sit beyond 6 p.m. in the evening. Not today, but this may be possible from the next week onwards. Today, the government is going to present its Business Advisory Committee's next week forward planning. Hopefully, too many bills will be listed. Too many discussions are pending, including, as I said, the budget has to be passed by both the houses.
That's right.
Now, coming back to today's private members' bill, you were right.
We'll come back to you on that,
18 private members' bills.
Yes, Vineetji, we'll come back to you on that. In fact, let's tell our viewers, of what you're about to say is that today, of course, is the day for private members' legislative business in both houses. And in Rajya Sabha, a total of 18 bills will be tabled, and this includes 12 new ones. So let's take a look at some of those bills that we'll be expecting today, a few of those new ones. Vivek Gupta will be, in fact, introducing the Education, Inclusive Development and Regulation Bill 2018 to establish an authority to provide for inclusion of traditional Indian knowledge, ancient Indian history, culture, digital and financial education in the education curriculum. Vivek Gupta will be introducing the Medical Healthcare Universalization and Regulation Bill 2018. The bill aims to make accessible and affordable healthcare for all by proposing state-sponsored health insurance for people below the poverty line and regulation of medical fees and drug prices. T. Subbarami Reddy will introduce bills to amend the Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Development Act 2006 and the Railways Amendment Bill 2018. Ripun Bora will introduce a bill to amend the Companies Act 2013. Shambhaji Chhatrapati will introduce the Ancient Monuments and Archaeological Sites and Remains Amendment Bill 2018 to further amend the Ancient Monuments and Archaeological Sites and Remains Act 1958. KVP Ramachandra Rao will introduce the Contempt of Courts Amendment Bill 2018 to amend the Contempt of Court Act 1971. Reports of various department-related parliamentary standing committees will also be presenting their reports in the Rajya Sabha. Satyanarayan Jatia and Gopal Narayan Singh will be presenting the report of the Standing Committee on Human Resource Development. Shambaji Chhatrapati and DP Tripathi will be presenting the report of the Standing Committee on External Affairs. Mahesh Podar and Ajay Sancheti will be presenting the Standing Committee report on Finance. Veer Singh and Shadilal Batra will present the Standing Committee report on Food, Consumer Affairs and Public Distribution. Hussain Dalwai and Ajay Sancheti will also be presenting the Standing Committee report on Urban Development. Our correspondent Vineet Dixit continues to be with us. Vineet ji, I'm sorry for interrupting you there. We had to tell our viewers just step by step as to what is it that we'll be seeing. Perhaps if today, of course, business of the House goes on as is supposed to be. But talking about some of those new bills that are, those amendments that are going to be moved and also the Standing Committee reports, they're going to be quite crucial. And it is important for the House, of course, to make sure, the process, of course, continues. How do we see that happening?
Well, normally, Tracy, the private members is taken up, even though there have been disruptions in the House in the preceding days. Let's see, today, hopefully, the private members will be taken up in the second half, beginning from 2:30 p.m. onwards. As many as, Tracy, 14 private member bills have become acts since the Rajya Sabha came into being, since the Parliament came into being. These are very important numbers. And the 15th private member bill, which became an act, was moved by Mr. Triti Shiva recently, which contains laws, the new laws about the transgender bills. These private members' bills are normally taken on the last working day of a week, Friday, of course, and the second half. And these are very significant numbers if you compare how many members of Parliament had introduced and what they want, that if there is a missing link in the laws and they want new laws to be taken up. These are the private members' days, very important. As I said, 18 private member bills are listed today. Yes. 12 of them are new and 6 of them old. Discussion on 2nd of February was incomplete with regard to the private member bill moved by Subhendu Shekhar Roy, which was pertaining to the Article 366. He wanted a consultation part be included between the legislature and the executive and the judiciary with regard to the National Judicial Commission. That discussion was incomplete, and hopefully today it will restart after 2:30 p.m. onwards. Tracy.
All right. We'll leave it there for the moment. Vineet Dixit, thank you so much for joining us on that. In the Rajya Sabha, motions will be moved for the election of several committees. Vijay Goyal will move the motion for election to the Committee on Public Undertakings, Public Accounts and Welfare of Scheduled Castes and Scheduled Tribes. Also in the upper house, Vijay Goyal will be making a statement regarding government business for the week commencing the 12th of March on Monday, 2018. In Lok Sabha today, there will be a discussion and voting on the demands for grants under control of the Ministry of Railways for 2018-19. Discussion and voting will also be held on the demands for grants under control of the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers' Welfare for 2018-19. Several private members' bills are slated for introduction and passing in the Lok Sabha as well. Meenakshi Lekhi, P. Karunakaran, Sushil Kumar Singh, Bijayant Panda, Rabindra Kumar Jeena, Poonam Mahajan, Konda Vishweshwar Reddy, Ninong Ering, Gajanan Kiritkar will be among the members who will be introducing private member bills in the lower house. And the following questions will be raised in Rajya Sabha. Sanjay Raut will ask the Minister of Railways the plan being formulated by the Railways to fund its upcoming projects. Vijay Sai Reddy's question will be to the Minister of Agriculture and Farmers' Welfare. He will ask whether the committee set up in April 2016 on doubling farmers' incomes has submitted its report to the government. Dharmapuri Srinivasa's question will be to the Minister of Communications. He will ask whether the ministry has proposed BharatNet project in the country and if so, the details thereof. CM Ramesh will ask the Minister of Law and Justice whether it is a fact that there is an average disposal of 50 lakh cases annually. Lok Adalats are playing an important role in disposing of the pending cases in the country. T. Ratni Navel will ask the Minister of Chemicals and Fertilizers whether it is a fact that the government has allowed authorized employees of any registered companies and partnership firms engaged in plantation work to purchase subsidized fertilizers by using his or her Aadhaar number. Questions will also be asked to the Ministry of Coal, Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution, electronics and information technology, food processing industries, parliamentary affairs and railways. That's it in Today in Parliament. After a short break, stand by for Parliament proceedings.